So in terms of what's working in the markets, I would say that stock selection is actually working. So even though sector selection and your factor exposures still matter, I think it's really a great market for stock picking right now.
Right. So in some of your notes that you're talking about, that what is front and center are the supply chain disruptions, right? And you do see the market react with some extent, but we've had 3 straight days of new highs. So is that because we're dealing with the supply chain? It's not going to persist as long as we thought, or we still have a Fed that's fairly accommodative? The Fed is certainly is part of our life and part of the economy.
So what we've been hearing throughout earnings season, I think this is really consistent across the board, is that company executives are very much worried about supply chain bottlenecks. The data that I mentioned in my notes to you was really from a McKinsey survey that was released recently that showed that supply chain concerns has actually exceeded COVID-19 as the #1 concern of corporate executives, particularly in North America. What we know is that we still have a backlog of inventory at our major ports. The trucking and rail systems are at bottlenecks as well. And so we don't expect this to resolve in short order. So I think there is some concern about the fourth quarter and even beyond.
We used to tie a lot of the supply chain issues with COVID in Southeast Asia and chips, things like that. Maybe it is sort of decoupling at this point. Now it seems like I don't know, there's a lot of other factors, truck drivers and, trying to find workers, a lot of things at the ports that have nothing to do with COVID. I don't know whether, so that means when COVID hopefully is in the rearview mirror, we still may be stuck with some of these issues.
I think that's why it will take longer to unwind. However, I agree with you. I do think that some of the supply chain issues do relate to COVID at the source. But the problem is you have a domino effect, and it's exacerbated by the labor shortages that we've seen. We were just talking about Deere as an example. That's an example of the labor market and just how tight it is right now. And we're seeing that really across all sectors of the economy, from trucking to retail to all sorts of other companies as well.